Saturday morning in the garden. It's been a while since we've had Saturday morning in the garden. It's not been a while since I did gardening videos. I've been bombarding you guys. Let me show you what I've got in my bucket. What's happened in here? Oh, nice and hot. Rodney's with me today. He's the mischievous dog on the plot. So, where to start? Now, we've got apparently Storm Betty is coming to visit us. I think she may well be here, though she's not making her presence too known. So I'm going to take the risk that you can hear me. I'm going to close this gate behind me because there are some cheeky chickens that have been trying to get in the plot. They did get in the greenhouse again because unfortunately it's not just me that uses it, and it's been left open by somebody who shall not be named because she's doing a grand job at other things. Anyway, everything's looking really good still. There's a little bit of weeding that I need to get done again, which was the whole plan after the last videos of obviously staying on top of it little and often, and that is working really well. The oregano that we chopped down, did we chop that down together? I think we did. Yes, because it was when I gave it the mad haircut, wasn't it? Look at this, it's looking really good. So we're only a week on and this is already throwing up some nice new, I think that's actually, oh no, that's oregano, I thought it was a weed. It's already throwing up some nice new shoots, so I'm really pleased about that. The apple mint, as you can see, is already trying to make a comeback. I'm going to try and contain this. Stephen suggested being quite ruthless and using a spade around the bits that, that I don't want to keep essentially, or I don't want it to spread to. I'm not sure what that bird is. That's not a magpie, I don't think. New one on me. Right. Well, I did start a video the other night. Whilst I'm chatting, I'll overlay it so you can kind of see how it ended up looking. Rodney, come here. And I haven't been able to get on the plot, not because I've been rained off or not because I've been too busy with work on a night or whatever. It's because we got chased off by 2 wasps' nests. So we are going together to have probably my 5th look to make sure that they really have gone, because it's been quite an ordeal, if I'm honest with you. Now, this sad state of affairs is where the bin ended up when we had a fight with the wasps and the wasps won, and we haven't really moved it since because well, we're frightened that they're going to come back basically. So this planter here that has got a somewhat fire burn on it, that might be a telling tale in itself. And this bin both contained wasps by the hundreds. Well, hundreds is probably an exaggeration, but definitely tens of tens. So I haven't been able to get up here because every time you came up here you got stung. Stephen's had quite a few stings, and what we ended up doing was we tried to get rid of them ourselves a couple of different ways that didn't work. I did buy something from the shop, some spray foam. That didn't work either because I think you need to get it directly into the actual nest. And we couldn't see the nest because I think it's in the wooden rotted bits of the planter. Anyway, we haven't been able to find a nest in this bin. This is just a burn bin, and then it ended up being a dump everything in bin. So it may be that there's a dead wasp nest in there now, because what we had to do, something's just flown past me and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm terrified of wasps. It's ridiculous. Here's little Rodney, look. Oh yes, there he is, hiding behind the Jerusalem artichokes. What we've had to do, we had to get somebody in. So I chatted to a few people on Instagram and they said, you know, we've tried it to get rid of the mouse cells, it just didn't work, you just end up really peeing them off. So we had a lovely chap in. The most interesting thing, when he arrived, he said, I've been here before, you know, I've been doing this job 60 odd years. And he came here before this farm was actually at the farm that it is now. So this farm was originally just one huge farm, hundreds of acres. Rodney, come here just in case. Rodney, come here just in case, son. And he came when it was the original farm. It was a dairy working farm, and now it's 3 different houses. Ours is the original farmhouse and some of the land, and then the neighbour up the road bought the rest of the land, and the 2 houses near us just have a little bit. They're not wanting to farm a small holding or anything like that. Keeping an eye on him because I'm scared that there is wasps. He's just having a sniff around. Fantastic stories. He came for moles like 20 years ago, he was saying, because the moles were just destroying the land that the farmers were trying to work, causing them serious problems for the crops and stuff. I just thought it was lovely that somebody had been here and had a bit of history to talk about. Anyway, what's happened? What a mess for these lovely cabbages that we had. This one here is blown, so I'm going to take that to the pigs. This one's looking okay. and I can probably salvage the rest. So all of this needs to happen over the course of the weekend. It's Saturday morning now, as I say, so we need to get this sorted. But first up, I need to get some seeds in. Oh, the other thing, actually, let's spin around, sorry. Obviously I haven't been able to get to the potatoes either. I'm keeping an eye, these are just flies. And they are looking really blighty in this bed to me. They've literally just died off and the weeds remain. So need to get in here and harvest everything that's in there, and if they're okay, fantastic. If they're not, then at least we've got this bed, which is also starting to look blighty. But what I'm going to do is the leaves rather than the stalks, but oh no, this one's gonna, anyway, I'm going to top all of these. I'm going to get my gloves on and top them, because normally I work without gloves, but I'm just feeling a little bit jumpy because of the wasp situation, even though I'm hoping that it's over. And I'm going to get all of these topped and harvest these first. So I'll harvest these, and even if I don't get time to harvest all of these, I'll get them topped so that the blight doesn't go down into the potatoes themselves, because these are looking so much healthier than obviously this bed, and you would expect, being in such close proximity, that it would have passed over, which it might have done, looking at what I'm seeing. So anyway, that's the plan for the weekend, at least that. The thing that I was mentioning, as the wind's picking up, is the seeds. So I obviously said I wanted to get a load more seeds in, and I actually was sat in the shed the other day rather, after we discovered the wasp's nest. I thought, oh, I'll just leave it there, keep working in the shed. Oh my goodness, the amount of wasps that came into the shed was unbelievable. So I vacated those premises very quickly. The door's even still open. Didn't get it closed because I didn't dare come out here. Stephen's much braver than I am, but that's why he got stung more. So there is a kind of a half setup of seed station in there. I did get some seeds in. I think I started on some beetroot that I'm going to do in the greenhouse, so it's far too late really to be sowing beetroot outside. But I thought I could put some in the greenhouse, and you know, if they come on, great. Try and keep it warmer in there. The daylight seems to be fading fast. It was dark at 9 p.m. last night. Not ready for that yet. Anyway, so I want to get in the shed and show you what seeds I've got. It's like she sells seashells on the seashore. I just had to show you this. I thought this was a flipping skull. Can you see? It's not, it's a mushroom. Oh, I had a bit of a panic on then. And the other thing in here, these apples are looking so productive, it's unbelievable. What we're doing is thinning them out, and any that are windfall, they're going down to the pigs. So the bucket that I've got with my coffee and the seeds in it, we'll get that full of apples later on today, and we'll get the pigs fed fresh from this tree. I'm going to do separate videos. I've got 2 weeks off now. Did I mention it? Only about 100 times. I'm going to do separate videos that aren't just garden related, sort of the small holding related stuff. I'll keep this one though just to gardening. Now the other worry is obviously the outside tomatoes. These ones in here, something has been at them, which Rodney might find, but there's a little critter that comes out here on a night, so we're sharing the ones that are on the ground. I need to get back in here because these Cape gooseberries have just gone ridiculous, absolutely crazy. I did not know that they would get this big and out of control. I'm thinking I might just trim them back a little bit. There is tons of green tomatoes in here though. Can you see? They're looking really good. No sign of blight in the polytunnel yet, which is fantastic. But these outdoor tomatoes have really taken a battering. So I think that we'll get these taken down as well, because they're just making the place look a mess. I've just been coming along and eating some of these straight off the van, or these ones that are working. So yeah, I'll probably get this tidied up this weekend as well. You having fun, Rodney? And then if we just head over here, where Rodney's taken us, these outdoor tomatoes, even though they're looking a funny colour, some funny things happening to them, I think they'll still be edible. If not, the pigs will have them. They're not showing blight. I thought they were, but these seem to be doing okay as well. Tomatillos are just a waste, to be honest, out here. But having said that, the one in the greenhouse isn't looking too good either, so not sure about that. I'm hoping that we will have the big polytunnel, which is going here, that I've mentioned to you before. We'll have that up for the growing season next year. A few people have asked me if it's done already. There's no way that that's going to be done this year completed at all, so we need to wait for the winter for some of those trees to go dormant to take them out, because we're obviously going to try and save those. Then there's so much manual work involved. We're going to need to hire a digger. You know, it's a lot of expense as well as hard work. So that's like a winter job that's going to take us into the spring of next year. So the plan will be to try and raise... oh, there's a flipping chicken in the greenhouse. Are you having a giraffe? Come on. Dear me. Oh, Rodney, you haven't closed the gate, Rodney? Thankfully, she went the other way. Rodney! So that's what keeps happening. They keep coming in here when, you know, like that. It's me that left the greenhouse open then. But during the week, it keeps getting left open and they keep coming in. So what I might do, actually, is start closing these back gates, back doors even. Because they close, it just gets a bit humid sometimes. Perfect conditions again for blight. So I'm going to get swept out in here. I need to get the tomatoes harvested in here because there are a lot. I've got a special recipe. Well, I've got a recipe I want to make. I need to find a special recipe to make it. So with those Roma tomatoes, that's the other thing that I want to do this weekend as well, or on this video, is take the side shoot of the Big Mama and we're going to grow that on together over winter and we're going to reproduce from them next year. That's going to be amazing. Yeah, those huge tomatoes that I've got there, there's not enough for like producing pasta sauce for winter or anything like that. So I think I'm just going to do a tomato ketchup, a posh tomato ketchup for Stephen and I. I'm not going to waste it on the kids because they'll just use like, you know, loads of it. And because it's homemade, they'll say it doesn't taste very nice anyway. Right, let's pick this brush up, get tidied up in here. I need to go and get my little basket to harvest some of the tomatoes as well. So there's quite a few things to get on with, and then I'm going to show you the seeds. Or do I show you the seeds first? Before anything, I thought I'd give you a little update on the absolute disaster of the caterpillar-eaten brassicas. Some of them are trying to make a comeback. You know, wow, I'm amazed. So I'm going to try and save some of these just because it's just in my nature to do so. I have been finding more caterpillars on them. So there are some eggs down here. Where are we? You can see down here, and they must keep hatching. I'm assuming that's where they're coming from. So, you know, I don't need these pots at the moment. They're doing no harm. I'm just going to keep an eye on them. If they come well, then fantastic. If not, I'm going to go and get the seeds sown first. That's answered my question because we need more stuff. Right, Mr. Rodney, let's get a table set up. Pull these legs out. There we go, there's one. Okay. Oh. Hang on, Rodney, I'm nearly done. We haven't got enough space. Let's pop these ladders outside for now. Oh, let's leave them there. High five! High five! Yay! Let's get set up. Well, isn't this very organised? Rodney's just having a... Come on, you're coming up, let's talk to the people. Okay. So today I'm wanting to get sown as many seeds as possible. I do want to get some sown direct outside. But given what the weather's like and the fact that it will be nicer to sit in here, I've got an hour. I'm going to go through the new seeds that I've got. I'll share with you what they are. And we're going to get plenty sown and put in the greenhouse so they can start romping away, because I have a feeling that they'll do better than the ones that are sown outside. But it's only a matter of today and tomorrow anyway, the difference between getting sown outside. It's going to be a lovely day tomorrow, much nicer to work outside in. I'll be complaining it's too hot, no doubt. So I'm going to show you, once Rodney moves, what seeds I've bought. I've got some from Real Seeds. I just had a bit of a moment and bought quite a few seeds from Real Seeds. I'll go through all of those with you, because at the end of the day, the plan is that the plan is that we're going to be as self-sufficient as possible in, you know, what we're going to be eating and growing. I've also got some edible flower seeds. Don't you be eating them. The seeds aren't edible. Well, they might be. In an attempt to have a bit more colour in the garden, but also create some edible things that we can take in. This is where we got to. I got these sown before the wasps came in last time. I'm hoping that they'll be okay. I'm not going to re-sow them or anything. They just didn't get watered, so effectively those seeds, I'm guessing, will just be sat there as if they were in the packets. So I'm going to get on and get a load of seeds in now. You're going to have to move. Now, one of the first things that I'm going to get sown are the onion seeds that I'm going to try and overwinter. I I've ordered some. I forgot, the reason I went on to Real Seeds was to order the overwintering onions, because I know that I've seen them on there before. I think it's like, well, we'd also call them silver skin onions in my neck of the woods anyway, I think, as in the ones that you pickle, pickling onions. Anyway, and I thought, oh, I'll go on there and order them. Then I ended up going down a whole rabbit hole of ordering loads of other stuff and forgot to order the blooming onions. So I got them off eBay in the end. So I've got some Augusta onion seeds here, and I ordered another variety, but for some reason I don't have them with me. I thought I'd put them all in the flipping packet. It's typical, isn't it? So I'm going to get these Augusta ones sown. So I'm going to try and overwinter some onions, because basically the onions, I love onions, and the onions that we've got, that we've grown this year, absolutely fantastic. They're from Wilco's. Wilco's is flipping going into administration, although I did see, if you don't know, Wilco's is just an amazing kind of shop that sells homeware, gardenware, all sorts, but it's cheap. It's not expensive, and they sell amazing seeds and onion sets. I've had fantastic results from their onion sets all the time. So the onions that we're eating now are the onion sets from Wilco that I put in the like winter. I think I put them in late, didn't I? That went in the winter of last year, and they are amazing. The ones that we've got in the ground that we also need to harvest are from seed, which are the first time that I've grown from seed successfully. So I'm thrilled with those. I did have more, and if you guys remember, I'd left them too late to get them out of these containers and into the ground. I think partially because I was a bit concerned that it wouldn't actually work, because I've never successfully grown them from seed before. Are you helping? Just wait there, please. Thank you. Thank you. But now that I know that I can, I really want to have onions all year round, because the problem is, what I actually started telling you for, is the onions we've got are delicious, there's just not enough of them. So tonight I'm doing like I've got, on Saturdays it makes life a lot easier if I do a slow cooker joint of beef or whatever, or pork or chicken or whatever, any sort of meat in the slow cooker. Slow cooked, obviously, because it just helps with the busy days that we've got. And we've been getting into the habit of just having them with baguettes, but also for the beef that I'm doing today, we're having it with onions, caramelized onions. Well, everybody loves them, but it uses like 4, 5, 6 onions at a time, because they just cook down to nothing, and everyone's just piling them on, and I'm sat there thinking, oh my goodness, my onions. So the short version of this is that we don't have enough onions, so I want to make sure that I do enough onions, and I'm quite happy with them taking over my beds. If we get that polytunnel up and running, I'm not going to be doing any more outdoor tomatoes, so I can just I'll fill all my beds with onions, garlic, potatoes, absolute staples. People sometimes say to me, well, why do you even grow them? They're so cheap. Because it's about self-reliance, as well as just the joy of home growing. You know, there's nothing else on them. It's just so fantastic to see them growing and developing. Let's make sure that's not a wasp. There's nothing better than growing your own. Honestly, it's such an amazing feeling. Right, what I'm going to do before, seed things from Wilco. If anybody's seed tags, that was meant to say. If anybody asks, yes, I'm using plastic rather. When I've used the wooden ones, everything just rubs off them, and I end up in a position where I don't know what's what. So I'll recycle them if possible, if something can be easily written over or rubbed off, but unfortunately I will be continuing to use plastic. I fear Rodney feels like he needs to be close today. I think you're panting. Wow. I think your panting is going to take over the noise. Do you want your own little channel? Don't want to blow that on you. Coffee. Right, let's get these seeds in here. You don't need to help on this bit, thank you. 50 seeds of Augusta. And these are a 60 cell tray. There was actually more than 50 in there, a lot more than 50. I'm guessing they allow for failed germinations, so I'm really pleased, because that's a full tray. These are the CD60s. So what I've done as well, I've got some trays from Container Wise, because when I went to buy these, CD being the Charles Dowding ones, what I found is this size hole is very small, and Charles talks about only using a really small amount of compost, which is great, and it's true. But what I find is unless you're out and watering them all the time, they can dry out quite quickly, so you may need like a base on them. So what I've done is I've bought some of the larger ones. While I was getting these, I had a look around on Container Wise, and they have got some fantastic, slightly well, a lot larger actually. Yes, they use more compost, but if like me you want to grow things on inside to kind of give them a bit of a head start to avoid the slugs and the snails, I think they're perfect. And in fact, you've seen them on the brassicas that the caterpillars have demolished. So Tony C. Smith mentioned them, and I thought, fantastic, I'm going to get some of those. So we'll see those probably in a different video. Are you checking my spelling? Right, I'm going to get on and get a load more up here. I'm going to get a load more seeds sown, and then we'll have a roundup at the end of what I've got done, because I'm getting nothing done with this cheeky little boy on here. I'm not. I think we're going to take this old boy in. He's getting a little bit uncomfortable just laid on the top there. I'm going to bring a bed out for him, I think, because he's quite enjoying himself, but he's shifting around a lot as if he's uncomfortable. So this is my lettuce tray. I have got dark Rodent, absolutely lovely lettuce that we've had during the summer. Apparently it's okay over winter. How do you say this one? Rain de glace, fairy tales, winter marvel, and I've just chucked in some iceberg as well, just to be a bit cheeky. I'm going to cover these up and get them watered. I've also popped in my winter giant spinach and the Augusta onions. Now I have found the other silver skin onions that so these are the onion Paris ones that I was going to order off Real Seeds that I've just ended up getting off eBay. I found those, and I've also got some of the other flower seeds that I found. I'm going to pop the flower seeds to one side for now because I want to get all of the veggies in. So this will be next, the silver skin, but I'm going to get Rodney in first because I think he's feeling it a little bit out here. The lovely Rodney's having a rest now. Just done a YouTube short earlier this morning with him in it, so I'm hoping that goes down well. Trying to encourage more people over to the channel. Anyway, I got distracted as I was coming back to the shed, as I always do. Some beetroot looking fantastic here, and the seeds, do you remember we put radish seed in? They've germinated really well, but the Norfolk green turnips, nothing's come up. So those seeds, what's this? It's the sun. Those seeds may be duds. We put these in on the 7th of August, direct sown. I'm not seeing anything yet, and yeah, but the radish, as expected, they're up, looking really good. Do you know, it always amazes me how these stones get into this into the beds. It must be the cats that come through. Anyway, look at these beetroot. You see some really good looking beetroot there, and I'm going to get these onions as well because clearly some of them are definitely ready, and even though the ones are still standing up, I think it'll be good to clear this, and I'll get another row of something else in there. There for today because I've got some other stuff that I need to get on with. Stephen is on his way home, and we are doing a different video, more small holding content related, that'll hopefully be out very soon. But just a quick roundup of the seeds that I've managed to get done. I'm really pleased that I've got these done. There's plenty more things that I'm going to be getting on with, but for now this is going to be it for the video with the seed roundup. We've got the winter radish, 2 different types there of the winter radish going in. I've got a Durham early cabbage for basically it's a spring cabbage. I've got tatsoi and pak choi. I've got some golden beetroot. These are the ones that I ran away from the wasps on. Then I've got the giant spinach, the Augusta onions, my lettuce tray, another onion tray, the Paris silver skins, and then we've got leaf beet, a couple of rows of fennel. I'm not sure about that. The one that I put in bolted, but I'm going to give it another go. Mizuna and some mustards and a giant kohlrabi basically. So I'm really pleased with that amount of stuff that we've got in. Plenty more to do, and I will see you on the next video.